What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going.
Woo! I just reminded him before we got started not to forget that. No.
Oh, because it's so important. Hey, we actually have
I like having an audience.
We actually do have an
and
audience
we got
today.
Somebody in here. What?
Sorry,
Give a huge shout out to Randy Ruiz.
Yeah, Randy.
My nephew, who we kidnapped for the weekend. He's spending the Halloween with us. And so it was pretty cool. We stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning last night, something that we don't do often. We've been partying
hard.
Wait till you guys hear about it. It's been on like Donkey Kong until the break of dawn. And we're going to do it again tonight.
Yep. It's not over yet.
Nope. So happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Yeah. All the ghosts and goblins are out right now. I mean, they're trick-or-treating in our neighborhood today.
Sluts,
you know that, right?
Because it's a slutty everything. You turn slutty school teacher, slutty, like everything. You know,
slutty butterfly.
Babe, no. don't even start. Don't even look at like you don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because it could come out this weekend because we've been partying like we've been in our 20s, right?
Hey, listen, if I run out of a costume, I just take one from my drawer upstairs.
That's right. Slutty paralegal.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit of Halloween, okay?
Yeah.
So we get invited to a Halloween party a few years back. Yeah. And of course, Miguel and his creativity decides to be a tea bag.
Like an actual tea bag. Like a Lipton tea bag.
Yeah, but that's not what yeah, you were going for. But yeah, no, he did super good. Dude, it looked good. It looked good.
I got like a white mesh like fabric or some shit, and I don't know if I stapled it together so that it was like square.
You probably sewed it. Fucking
I might have sewed it. But yeah, I think I got some paper bags and I chopped them up. I cut them up so that it looked like tea leaves and brown.
Them. Yep,
yeah, and I stuck it inside.
Yep.
And that was like all around my waist, and then the bag like came all the way up to like my shoulders, and then I had a hat with the little Lipton logo with a piece of paper hanging off of my head, so it looked like a little tea bag. Everybody freaking loved it too.
Yeah, no.
And it was funny.
Yeah, we should have went and did some bar hopping because you probably would have won some contest.
That was probably my favorite costume, and you know what? And it was last minute too, kind of like the way tonight's gonna be.
Yeah.
So it might be a similar. Yeah,
everything's been last minute, but we're going to talk about that. Okay, hold up.
We suck at
planning.
So
before we get there, let's continue staying on Halloween.
Yeah.
So we live in a very Mormon, it's a very high Mormon community where we live. So Audrey's looking out the window while we're in the office, and she's like, "Are those kids going trick or treating?
Because it's Saturday.
What's going on?" I'm like, "Dude, go join them." Go join them because you can go trick or treating today
and
you can go trick or treating tomorrow. Like, it's all good. But do you remember what was your favorite memory, your childhood memory of Halloween?
My favorite memory, my favorite costume was that costume. Even though it was simple, it was probably it was like my funniest costume.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I have a couple favorite memories. So
by the way, I'll have him post that picture.
Yeah.
So
we got to find it. We got to find it. Yeah. And you were like a slutty nurse, I think.
I
Right?
was a helpful nurse.
You're really helpful.
Why are you throwing my business out?
Which are your Yorbas hanging out?
Look that up. No.
Yeah. That was from the movie Hocus Pocus.
Yes,
if
Hocus
you guys don't
Pocus.
know. But we were watching that with the kids, and they said something about the Yorbas, and we're like, what the fuck is a Yorba?
And Joey's like trying to put two and two together, and he points at Miguel's chest, and he's like, "Is that what Yorbas are?" No.
Yep. It's like, you know what the hell they are. But
one of my favorite memories is when I actually made the same thing with you when I made my costume, and we were broke, so
what was your favorite one?
Creative. And I remember being a little girl, and I was with my friend Christina, who lived right next door.
Who we're gonna go see?
The projects. No, a different Christina.
Oh, different Christina.
But Christina knows that Christina, and we were like punk rockers. That was it. We bought some, like a cheap dollar shirt, white t-shirt,
That's some back in the day shit, right?
Like we just sprayed. Yeah, we
figure it the fuck out.
We sure did. Like we teased our hair, made it look all crazy, and just sprayed. It was sprayed, painted our outfits, and it was like on.
For those of you that are new, like since last Halloween, because we kind of bring it up during this time of the year, like our favorite memories and stuff like that. It was the same shit with me. I've mentioned it on here last year when I was a kid. It's like, what are you going to be today? You're going to be a hobo. So let's just go get some clothes, some old dirty clothes that we're about to throw away. Put that shit on. We'll rub some dirt on it. I remember, I remember specifically finding like an old, the soft pack of cigarettes.
Yes.
The ones like, it was like empty.
Smoker, so
well,
yes.
Not the box though, like the soft pack. For some reason they look like, I don't know, like more hobo-ish. I don't know. Okay. When they were smashed and I had it, they were all dirty and my dad put it in my pocket, like sticking out all fucked up.
Really?
And then like, I was all dirty and smelly, but that's cool. I was a hobo for free.
See, but that's crazy because those are the memories that we remember is the costumes that we actually created ourselves. And those are the ones that we like the most.
Yeah.
And it's probably because we put our work into it. Like we actually created our costumes.
Yep.
And maybe that's what we should do with our children next year. Let them create their own.
Well, the boys were going to be Dumb and Dumber.
Yes.
But
that was going to be
We ran out of time again, as usual.
Well, it wasn't that, baby. They didn't really want to be,
And we don't want them to do it if they don't want to.
Right. Yeah. So then that's what happened. But it would have been a great costume for them because, as you all know, Joey's best friend,
they're butt buddies,
Beavis,
like we talked about.
Butt buddies, whatever you want to call them. And Joey has this little electric scooter. So there's a
the scene, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, where they are on the scooter and they had boogers and they're
were
all
just frozen.
Right. So it would have been good. But anyways, it's exciting here, especially in our neighborhood where we're at, and that's why I had invited my nephew Randy over because he's never spent Halloween here, and so I'm like, dude, you have to come. I mean, our neighborhood was on ABC News.
Yeah. There's two neighbors down the street, across the street from each other,
and they competing back.
They are throwing down.
Yes.
I mean, their setup is really nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you guys look up, I don't know.
It was neighbors.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
At Santa Rita Ranch.
It's really.
But
nice.
anyways, it's awesome here. I mean, we've never had Halloween the way we have it here. There's horse carriage rides. I mean, there's food galore. You can go.
It's like a big ass party in the neighborhood.
It is. You know what it is? You know how we're going to get into the Packers game, but how they were saying it was set up, over there at Lambeau Field, how the houses around Lambeau Field.
It's kind of like that. It's like the tailgates in Lambeau.
Yes. So that's how it kind of is here. Like it's just,
But I think in Lambeau, it's every house.
Right. Yeah. Here it's not every house.
But it's a lot of houses that are just open. Like people give it, like one year there was a guy that had like a flat iron and like a straight up taco bar.
Yes.
Like a fucking taco bar with like chicken, beef, all the sides, and you just like walk up.
That's it.
You're walking down the street trick-or-treating with your kids,
right.
And it's like stop over and have some tacos.
Right.
It's fucking crazy.
So by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this because we've been busy, like partying all few weeks. Yeah. This week has been crazy, but we got invited by some of the neighbors to go hang with them. So it's like potluck. We're all going to take food. We're all going to be chilling, eating.
We're going to be good neighbors.
And then the women, which I know you enjoy going trick-or-treating with us, so it's up to you, but it's like all the women, we're going to take the kids, and the men, we're going to chill and do what you guys do best and drink.
Yeah. That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me.
So it's up to you, but it's all good. So.
Yeah, I like going with the kids too.
Yeah.
But
no, it's fine because they have haunted houses too.
Yeah, some people they set up the whole inside of the house and you can kind of walk around and they have like a little path set up.
Yeah. So you really all cool. Little ghosts and goblins out there, make sure that you are being safe and responsible. And if you are going to party like we are going to party, make sure you have a DD or call you some Uber.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Have fun, but be responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
after this, I got to figure out a costume. I might be a teabag again, but we'll see.
Yeah. I told you could be my cocoon.
Yeah, right? A cocoon.
A cocoon. We can make that happen. That was good. Did you like that?
We'll be creative. I'll be creative. Maybe I'll be.
Dude, that was funny. That was a cocoon.
Put some balls on it or
something. Yeah. Do something.
Oh, man. Yep.
And then I can, we can make it happen. It has to be a cocoon that opens so that I can walk in and then come out a butterfly.
Yep.
We'll do something with that.
Beautiful
anyway, let's talk about our pack. Let's talk
beginning
about
of the party.
Dude, for real though.
Yeah. So this is what happened. So I went out of town for work for a couple days in the beginning of this week, of last week when you guys are listening to it. And I got back Wednesday, the day before the Packers
evening,
are
by
playing.
the way. Wednesday evening.
Yeah, and if you guys listen to the podcast or you just watch, I mean, we got green and yellow in here, and we're Packer fans. And I've been a Packer fan for a long time. And the Packers were coming. You guys know what's happening with all the different stuff that's happening in the world. Everything's kind of uncertain. And we're like, you know what? We've already been to watch the Packers here. I really want to go to Lambeau and watch them play. And I happen to have a friend of mine that was coming to town and hit me up. And because he's a huge Packer fan, an old friend from the Air Force, my first roommate. Shout out to Louis, Carlos, and everybody else, Jamie, everybody that we're hanging out with.
Last.
Yeah. And so the plan was, because we also had some school stuff to do with the kids.
Listen, we were busy. Okay, that week we had trunk or treat. I have, as you all know, a nationwide business.
Yeah.
We had appointments on the books, and I actually I decided to take 2 myself.
Shout out to Patrick for hooking it up.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And, all my notaries were busy, and I had one that I was working on who was like ready to go. And anyways, I'm like, I don't know if I didn't even know I was going to go with you because I had everything scheduled. We had so much going on.
The plan, we were not going to the game.
Right.
The kids had some Halloween stuff
Yep.
going on at school. So my plan was like, look, I'm just going to meet up with my old friend from the Air Force. Maybe we go to a bar around the stadium, grab a couple beers, and I'll just head back to this side of town and take the kids to what we got to do at school, right?
But as soon as Miguel said bar in Westgate, I'm like, oh, hell no.
She's like, let me see if I can reschedule some things.
I'm like, you know how long it's been since I wanted to go out, like, know, with you? And I'm like, no. I'm like, as soon as you decided that we were going to go have dinner with him, because that's what we thought, we were going to have dinner and some drinks.
Well, no, it was like we were just going to go get a couple of drinks still. So you started working on rescheduling your appointments, right?
Yes.
And we headed out to that side of town. The plan was still to just have a couple drinks and leave.
Come home. That's it.
And then once we showed up, we got to the tailgate at the stadium. And
well, first of all, we stopped. We met them. I thought we were going to have some drinks there, but we ended up getting in a Jeep. We left our vehicle, got in Luis's Jeep, and he took us to the tailgate where everybody was tailgating. And I have never...
You've never been to I've never been to a tailgate either, but I know what they're like. I've heard about it. I have a good idea of what a tailgate. It's a giant fucking party in a parking lot.
So once we got there, I'm looking around and he's like, we got food and alcohol, and I'm looking around and everybody's barbecuing.
Everybody's having a blast.
I'm like,
we look at each other like, can we make this happen?
Right.
Like, I don't know if we could pull this off.
Are we going to do this?
And then it was like, and I started getting crazy with you because we were talking about, well, the kids, we already told them about the Halloween thing. It's like, hey, this is fucking Thursday. Halloween's on Sunday. Plus, we were going to school the next day to do some Halloween shit. Plus, they're probably going to do some Halloween shit today. And Sunday is actual Halloween. So relax with the whole fucking kids in school and all that shit. Because I was starting
to feel a bit guilty. Like, I don't know.
And I was like, if we were kids back in the day, our parents would have drug us to the fucking wherever we needed to go. It wasn't like the kids it wasn't always priority number one, right?
So what did I do? I got on the phone and started calling some parents.
I was going to say, so like when we made that decision, we fucking jumped on it.
I was good.
Like we do with almost like just about anything else.
We talk about it.
You're like,
we discuss it. Hold on. This is a marriage tip here.
Go ahead.
We talk about it. We discuss it. We agree upon it. And then it's on like Donkey Kong. Just like with everything in our life, from our finances to parenting to business, all of it. It's communication, talking about it, making a decision, and boom, putting that decision to action.
Yep. And this time it was a decision to fucking party. So Sonia gets on the phone and she starts calling some neighbors and some friends of ours. And she got somebody that was able to take care of the kids and take them to the school.
Yes.
While she's doing that, I'm on Ticketmaster seeing if I could find any tickets. And I found 2 tickets and fucking bought them in the parking lot of the stadium while we were tailgating.
Woo! Woo! And then after that, I called my new, well, he's my friend, but you know, who's taking care of my closings for me. He was down. He had everything, you know, set up, and he was good to go. And it was on. It was on. And
at that point, it was like, all right. Like now all we got to focus on is partying.
Having a good time. Just having a good time. And it's so amazing because, you know, if the world would just act like a big tailgate party, we would all just get along, love each other, feed each other, right? Help you. If you're thirsty, be like, hey, neighbor, here you go. Don't worry about it, because that's how it was.
And even with Cardinal fans, like everybody was cool. Everybody was super cool.
It was great.
It was awesome.
And I mean, seriously, you know, our neighbors brought a game, cornhole.
Yeah.
We didn't bring anything, by the way, but ourselves, because we didn't know what the heck.
No, my friend, we didn't have any neighbors.
Expect.
But the guys next to us. I know,
but I'm saying the guys next to us. But what I'm saying is, like, at first I was like, man, we didn't bring alcohol. We didn't bring nothing, like, to contribute. Yeah. And they're like, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it, right?
Just like, I brought an appetite and I'm fucking thirsty.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I ran into some friends that I've known since, oh my goodness, since I was like 23, because I'm from here. I don't, you know, I'm a native. I'm from Arizona.
And so most of your friends are Cardinal fans.
They're all Cardinals fans, you know, so they're like, and you know what the hell? But
I'll tell you what, we're Cardinal fans as long as the Cardinals aren't playing the Packers.
Right.
That's the only time I won't pull for the Cardinals.
Right.
But besides that, I always want to see the Cardinals win.
And this game,
let me just tell you. Wait, before we even get into the game, we were hanging out in the parking lot. We're partying. We're having a great time. We found like somebody had like a bar set up behind the truck.
Yeah.
And we're taking shots back there. It was a huge party. And if you guys listened to a few months back, I had gone on this work trip. And when I was getting off of the plane coming back home, I see somebody that to me looked like Eddie Lacy, the running back, rookie of the year from the Green Bay Packers, right?
Yes.
And I was like, hey, Eddie Lacy? And he turns around and he was super cool. I met him, we shook hands, whatever, and we kind of
took a picture.
Yeah. And then we kind of went our separate ways, right? So we get to the game, and I had messaged Eddie a few times, you know, in the last couple months. Nothing crazy, but we get to the game, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hit him up and see if he's gonna be at the game. It'd be cool to, you know, run into him again and say hi and introduce you or introduce him to the friends or whatever. And you don't expect that. You don't expect like something like that's actually gonna happen, you know, a lot of times, especially when somebody's been the rookie of the year, they played in the end, like he was big time, you know what I mean? Right. But so we hit him up, and he's like, yeah, I'm going. He's like, I'm going to be in this section. Where are you guys at? And we start messaging back and forth. And before you know it, he shows up to where we're tailgating.
He's hanging with out with us.
And it was fucking mind blowing. Yes. Like literally the night that we had that night, I was still on a fucking high the entire next day. The entire next day, I was like buzzing. Like I was still super excited from the night before. Like, I'm barely fucking even coming down. And now that we're talking about it, I'm going to get fucking fired up again. You know what I mean? The shit. It was one of those nights that was just.
You will never forget.
It was once in a lifetime type of shit.
Right. Yeah. And he's so humble. Like, he's so friendly and so humble. You know, and when you meet someone on that level, it is great to see.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. Really cool.
Yeah. You know.
Him, and then he brought a couple friends with him, and we were all. So. We hung out at the tailgate. We kind of walked around a little bit, and then the game was going to start, and we decided to all walk in together.
Right.
So,
we were hanging out with Eddie Lacy.
So, super big shout out to Eddie Lacy. Definitely. Man, we had the time of our lives with you, man. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And then we got into the game.
Right.
And the party didn't fucking stop there. It was so crazy. That game was insane.
It was.
Yeah.
And it's so, and you hear this all the time. Because Miguel and I suck at planning. We do. We're not planners, but we're very spontaneous.
And sometimes when we don't plan, and you know, if you guys hear my voice is different, it's because I was yelling at the top of my lungs for the entire game almost. So I actually, this morning I woke up and I was kind of surprised that my voice sounded better, because yesterday it was almost gone.
Right.
But no, that game was just. It was insane. It was so much fun.
Yes. To be there, especially being there with people that you get I just met, but me, everybody's my friend. After we meet, we're like, man, you're my new best friend.
Well, the freaking game, it was like everybody was our friend.
Right.
I mean, you were talking about going to the bathroom.
Oh, yes. I walk into the bathroom and I look around and there's nothing but Packer females in there. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, how did this happen? And I'm over here taking pictures with strangers.
Everybody's fucking high-fiving in the bathroom. Their fucking fingers just rip through the paper and shit. They don't give a damn. They're like, yeah, fucking go Pack.
And then afterwards, it was just great. Like, all you heard was chanting. And you took a video of it. I took a video.
Like, you guys check out the stories.
Pack, go. And it
I
was
started that shit a bunch of times.
Loud. You wouldn't, there were so many Packer fans that it was unbelievable because you are in Arizona with hardcore fans. And but the Packer fans showed up. No joke. They showed up and showed out.
I was
definitely
telling you, wherever the Packers go, that's how it is. Packer fans are the fucking, they're legit.
Yeah, and even through Aaron Rodgers, the interview, like towards the end, he even said the fans were so loud. Like, I appreciate that. Like, they showed up.
And fucking Aaron Rodgers, man, this dude, the year that he's having this year, after all the shit that they talked, he's fucking shoving it up everybody's ass. Everybody that said something in the beginning of the season, like, he doesn't care anymore. He's not passionate about the game. Well, fucking look at him now. Number 1 in the NFL.
Yes. And there are people that have that, personality where it's like, tell me I can't do something. Yeah. Tell me I can't do something and watch me win. Yep. Watch me win.
Yep.
And that's the personality, that he has.
So, but yeah, usually when we, we're horrible at making plans, and a lot of times that bites us in the ass where the plans don't go as smoothly or they don't work out as perfect as they should have if we planned it better. But this last Thursday, everything worked out perfect. I would not change anything from that night. I mean, from the beginning to the end. After the game, we went to the Westgate area where all the bars are at, and we partied our asses off there for a couple more hours, and it was a blast.
The one thing that I've always admired about us, about you, that being a couple, we've been together for so long, right? Like, we've been together 14 years, married 13 years. And when we go out, we have, even if it's just you and I, we have such a good time together. Like, we have a blast together. We could be the only ones in the bar.
We were dancing like nobody was watching.
That's right. And I'm the dancer. Like, I've been wanting to go dancing for so long. And I've lived in the West Valley for quite some time. And it's been a while since I partied in the West Valley where they know how to rock the house. And so here we are in Westgate, and it was on. I think I danced all night. I was dancing. I mean, I had girls dancing that I didn't even know at the table. I'm like, girl, come on, let's get this.
Hey, what the hell did you say earlier? So on Thursday, we were hanging out at the game. We were in the west side of town. And then the next day, yesterday, Friday, we also went back to go visit your mom and go pick up some stuff. And, if you guys have listened to the podcast, we used to live in the west side, and then we've been living out here on the other side of town for about 4 years now. But the west side, where we live for the majority of our relationship and where the kids were, they're still growing up. But when they were little, they were raised there. The west side keeps it real.
Right.
With some shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And what did you say earlier today? There was some shit. We were talking about something and you fucking dropped a phrase. It was like slipping on your pimping or some shit. Like, we were fucking back in the hood again. And she's like, listen to me. Fucking go to the west side for 2 days and I'm fucking back in the hood.
I'm like, the West Side Sonia came out like for real. Shit. Like, I'm like, dang, I didn't even know I could dance like that anymore.
Dude, we
like,
were fucking throwing down.
For real. Like, even at the bar, you and I were the first ones on the dance floor.
We were on the dance floors by ourselves.
For quite some time, yes. Yep. And then we had some people that saw us, that came by and like, they were dancing with us. Look at me. I'm already popping. Yeah, look at she's getting fucking excited. You need to watch this. But I was just feeling it, and I was feeling myself. I was feeling on you. I mean, feeling you.
We were. It was fun.
But they were in the middle of taking a picture, and we look, and they're calling us, this big group that we didn't even know, to go take a picture with them. And what do we're like, let's fucking go.
We were down for whatever that night. We're like, whatever was going to happen was like, let's fucking do it. Let's go.
Yep. And we danced the entire night until your friend was like, Jamie was like, hey, I'm ready to go.
I gotta go.
And I'm like, let's go.
At that point, it was cool. It's like, all right, we had the time of our life. Let's go.
And then the next morning, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
My back, my butt, what?
Yeah.
We worked out.
I fucking fell up the stairs. I don't know how you do that. You fucking fall up the stairs. I fucking slammed my shin so hard.
I was in the room, right? I was getting the bed ready, washing my face and everything, and I heard a freaking thump thump. I'm like, what? And I knew the kids were asleep, thump thump, and I'm like, and I come out and I look at Miguel.
She walks by like I'm fucking face down in the steps, just fucking laying there like, oh, fuck.
What happened?
Dude, it was one of those, like, I hit my shin so hard.
Ooh, that sucks.
I hit it, and I showed it to you. You felt it.
Yeah, that is the worst.
I hit it so hard that the only thing that I could do was like on the next couple, because it was up the steps. So what happened was like I normally run up the steps. Like I don't know, because I'm a fucking psycho. I don't like take steps up the stairs ever. I fucking jump steps and run up.
Yes, you got it.
So I was doing that, and one of my feet fucking slipped, and I hit my shin on the next step, and it hurt so bad that all I could do was just like, like when you're falling asleep in school and you put your arms on the desk.
Right.
I just put my arms on the next step that was there, and I just fucking put my head down, and I was just like, oh, I just fucking breathe.
Oh, man.
It hurts so bad. And you fucking walk by, you're like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, check this out. So the following day, Miguel has a doctor's appointment for a physical.
I walk in there, I'm like, and they're asking me like, so how many drinks do you have on a, I was like, today's probably not a good day to ask that question.
That, right?
But,
not a good day.
But
no,
you know what?
Bueno.
Before we move on to the, onto something else besides the game, but there was when we were there, we were hanging out, and there was a couple situations that we ran into. And there was, at the very end of the night, the way the night ended is my buddy got a flat. And we had to freaking wait to get the flat fixed. We were trying to figure out what we were going to do. And it kind of sucks because it was like late at this point. It's not like everything is closed.
But he had AAA.
Yeah. But there was something, I don't know if it's something that you understand, or like, what did you think? Because I don't want to leave my friend when he's got problems. And I know he's an adult and he's got, he can take care of himself, right?
Yeah.
But it seemed like, I don't know, what did you think?
So because I was with his girl.
Yeah, I know.
And you weren't with us.
Okay.
So you didn't hear the conversation.
I
don't know what happened.
I didn't. That's why I'm asking.
And have you ever used AAA?
I haven't.
AAA is the shit. Okay. So they had AAA. And when we were leaving, by the way, I had to go to the bathroom very bad.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a bathroom around, and I didn't feel like squatting, and there was no toilet paper. So Miguel's like, I want to go back and check on my friend and make sure he's okay. And I'm like, they have AAA.
Yeah.
And I already knew, like, AAA is the shit.
Yeah.
But maybe you didn't understand because you never used AAA.
I mean, I know how roadside assistance works.
Miguel,
and AAA works,
I wasn't going to give him any shit, but I was like, no, let's just go home. He's going to be fine. AAA is going to be there, take care of him, do whatever they got to do. He's going to be just fine.
Let's go.
But Miguel felt like, he had to be there. And I understand because of the relationships you guys have. That's why I didn't give you shit when you decided to go back.
Yeah.
And when we went back, the AAA trick was already there. They were already good.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we went back a couple minutes later because what happened was we ended up leaving and catching an Uber, and then we found our car. We went back and made sure that they were good, and then we all took off. But I started thinking about it, and I was thinking about, like, why? Like, why is that? Because this happened twice in the night. Earlier in the night, we had a friend that we were with that had an upset stomach. And with what we were drinking and everything, she started throwing up, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not and it's not like she was like super drunk or anything like that. It was just that she had an upset stomach.
Yeah. So
and she wasn't making a mess, throwing up all over people. It was like in a popcorn bucket or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we were like at the very top of the stadium, whatever. But somebody saw, or security or whatever, and they came and they wanted to kick her out of the game. Mm-hmm. So when they
were you there when they first came?
I was there. I went down to the bathroom with I was waiting outside the bathroom because security. You don't remember? When
hold on.
Listen, when security came, I was like, fuck that. I'm going
Yeah,
too.
no, I remember that.
And
but you weren't there during our conversation. So before you even showed up, her and I were talking to the officer, and I told the officer what happened was she ate something that upset her stomach. And then he looked at me and I'm like, she's fine. And even she had sent me a message on Facebook. She's like, thank you. You saved my ass. Because I had that conversation before.
Yeah.
And then you ended up walking down with her just to make sure everything was good.
But when we were down there and she went into the bathroom and security was outside the bathroom, I was outside the bathroom, my friend was outside the bathroom, they were talking about kicking her out, possibly. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I was like, we paid hundreds of dollars and it has nothing to do with all of that. But I was fucking, I wasn't happy. And I wasn't just going to let them fucking kick her out. I don't know. They might have kicked me out too, but that isn't any different than going back to check on my friend. Like, I don't see it that way. And I was kind of thinking about like, why is that? And
why is
I don't
what?
know,
I don't understand.
Like that feeling, you know, like and
the feeling to what? Check on your friends?
It's that tribe thing.
Oh,
and
okay.
One thing that I think it's the military, maybe it's the military, because it's one of those things that you hear it all the time, that people that have been in the military or military friends, like they have a bond that's different than a lot of people. You know what I mean? My friend Louis, I worked with him for a couple years in our squadron. You know, it's not like we've been friends forever. We were together for a few years. And then he went and got stationed somewhere else, and we went our set. But we've always kind of kept in touch here and there. But when we show up to a base, we don't have anybody. We are all we have. Lou, my friend, when he was stationed here, he didn't know anybody here. I didn't know anybody here. Our friend Goat that we always used to hang out with, he didn't know anybody here. So we were all.
You didn't either.
I didn't.
You came here with no family.
But that's the thing is that when it's like that, we're all we got. And no matter where we go, if we go out to a bar, if we go out to a club, we go to fucking Mexico, we go wherever, we know that we're taking care of each other. Like, this is our family here. And then if you can even imagine, if you go to combat, like how much closer that'll bring people together. But I don't know, it's hard to explain what that's like. But when you have friends, I mean, you've probably seen it a couple of times, and it may not always be good. It may not always be good, because I've almost gotten into a lot of trouble just being, you know, I guess loyal, you could call it, or fucking stupid sometimes. I don't know. But if you're one of us, you're one of us. And that's fucking it. That's it. And it fucking sounds cheesy or whatever, but it's that fucking leaving somebody behind. He's not from here. He doesn't know anybody here. I don't give a shit if AAA is going to be there. I want to make sure that he's going to be good. And yeah, that's just how we look out for each other.
Yeah, I just thought you were drunk as shit.
No, it doesn't.
I'm like, do you not know who AAA is? Like, they rescue people. No.
They fucking rescue people.
No, but seriously, I thought you're just like drunk as shit or something. You know, you're like, I gotta go check him out for it.
No, I
gotta make sure he's good. I want to
make sure that
you know.
Yeah.
And so when Miguel's mind is set, I'm like, all right, let's go. And of course, as soon as we get there, guess who's there? AAA, and they are good.
Yeah.
And then he had to like fly home.
Yeah, then we're good. So yeah, it was an unforgettable night. I mean, and then the game, the way it ended with the interception in the end zone, 12 seconds left in the game to be number one in the NFL. It was just, I mean, it couldn't have been any better. It was fucking awesome.
Yep. And then we came home and the kids were great. They were
great asleep.
To sleep. Yep, they were asleep and everything was good.
Yeah. So there was something that I wanted to talk about, which was in the last couple weeks, well, with football and the Packers and everything, there was a game with the Packers and the Bears where something went down, and I was kind of thinking, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something. I want to make you guys know we're about business, right? And I wanted to make
not all about business, but that's part of who we are.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what the goal is for us to do our thing, and the only way that you get to call the shots, make the rules, and do whatever the hell you want to do is doing your own fucking thing, and that's through business. And one of the things I was like, you know what, I want to make a shirt, and like a Packers shirt that we can sell on Amazon or whatever. And then I kind of got an idea, And I was like, you know what? If it's a Packers shirt, then maybe we could work with Eddie Lacy. We could work something out. But just that thought, you know what I mean? Like we were talking about a few weeks ago, how it seems like sometimes there's people like, they're just like on autopilot through life. You know what I mean? It's like never thinking about anything really. It's just, they're always being distracted by what's on the phone, what's on the TV, what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is doing, instead of thinking and doing for yourself, like where you're going to get ahead.
Right. And I think a lot of that has to do with some people are not okay with their own thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people,
trouble with
if you
quiet.
are living in a situation that is hard, we talked about this. You just want to numb that away.
Yeah.
You don't want to think about it. You don't want to face reality. You don't want to, and maybe it's not that, but I understand what you're saying. When it's like you're just constant, moving. And some people are just trying to survive.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. Like you and I, we've been through that too. Like we've always been entrepreneurs.
And I was about to say that. Like I've had that feeling before.
Right.
But I've always had like that subconscious, like,
it's like we know this is a moment, right?
You're fucking up right now.
Oh, okay.
You know, like when I am numbing myself playing fucking video games or
this was a long time ago. Yes.
Yeah. Like I'm doing it, but I do subconsciously know like you're fucking yourself right now. Like I know it, but I don't know if everybody has that thought.
Right.
If it's just like autopilot, you know, like, I mean, like I said, but I don't know, but that's, you know, these kind of things don't come up. Like that was just a thought. Who knows what the hell's going to happen? It's just an idea.
But right. It's a conversation. It's always thinking about the future, what we can do. For me, it's to make a difference, to break free, to truly be free, meaning being able to do the things that we want to do with the people that we want to do it with and not have to worry about how we're going to eat or where we're going to live or what tomorrow looks like, you know, and and it's like you have to find that fight. You have to find that desire in order to succeed. And succeed is not just about money. That's the thing. It's, you know, finding, you know, your inner peace, your inner joy, you know, and breaking free and being able to see, like really see. And what I mean by that is being able to be grateful for what it is that you have. And I know that I have, you know, friends that live, you know, somewhat paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
But man,
we all do.
Their home is full of love. Like seriously. You know, their home is a loving home and they have amazing kids, great kids, and they're good parents. But they have not yet found a way to break free from the struggles of living paycheck to paycheck. And it's like just not knowing what you don't know.
Yeah. I mean, part of it's a mentality. It's just not knowing better. You know, because people think that everybody lives like this. Well, not everybody.
Right.
You know, and everybody's in debt. Everybody's got credit cards. Everybody's got car loans. Right. Everybody's got mortgages. Everybody's got this.
Right. I mean, there's people that are rich broke.
Not everybody.
There are people that have boats, that have the $1 million homes and the, you know, and the cars, and they have all this. But let me tell you, the business or career, or whatever, if it's wiped from underneath them.
There's people that make way more money than us that are broke as fuck.
Right.
And that's just a lack of financial understanding.
Education.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and we, you know, at one point, you know, I think that's it. It's just, I have always been so scared of not having, because I mean, my mom was amazing. My mom she was a fighter. Like she worked, she busted her ass. We never starved. We never didn't have, you know, we always had what we needed.
Yeah.
You know, and so she always was, you know, did what she had to do to make sure that we were taken care of. But I just was so scared of not having money, because I remember that there were times where, she was looking in between the sofa cushions because she didn't have money.
Yeah.
And as a little girl, I think I was maybe 9 or 10 or something like that. And I realized then that we were that broke. And you never realize, I didn't realize that until I seen that.
Yeah. See.
And that scared me to succeed. That's when I focused on school. I focused on my education. And I'm like, I don't want this. So I got to fight for whatever it is that I need to fight for, whatever it is that I have to do. I need to find answers. And that I think that's what it is. Finding answers, hanging out with people that know more than you or have the lifestyle that you want and asking questions. And sometimes, like I noticed with Audrey and Joey, sometimes it's like, baby, you have to ask questions in order to learn.
I talked to Joey about that this morning. I did. It was, we were talking about, what was he doing? He was doing something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I told him about the podcast. I was like, when I first started podcasting, I was like, that when we first started, I was like, it was just an idea.
Yeah.
It was an idea. Like, hey,
right.
How about we start a podcast? Mm-hmm. I was like, do you think I knew how to podcast? Do you think I knew the fucking shit that it was going to take to get this podcast going? And that's one thing that I've talked to you about before, that we've heard before, that if somebody was to explain to you everything that it would take to get your business going, you would never start it. You would, if somebody from day one, you know what, I want to start a notary business.
Right.
Well, guess what? You're going to need to do this. You're going to need to take a test. You're going to need to do the E&O insurance. You're going to make
all of it.
And you bet, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just going to do something else.
Yes.
Like podcast, all that shit.
Yeah.
When I look back at it, I'm like, fuck, that was a lot.
Right. And you know what we've learned? I don't know if you learned this in Legal Shield, but I did. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
And that's it.
Yep.
It's one bite at a time. When we got ourselves, I mean, there were times, Randy, you remember this, man? Like when you were living with us, there were times, I mean, we were living off, we had some, food stamps. Yeah. Like there were some difficult times, we had, 3 teenagers.
I was
we
working
had our little
two
girl.
full-time jobs at that time.
Full-time jobs. Like
I was working 80 hours a week.
We were fighting. We were going for it. We had the little babies. What was it? The little babies tutu dresses.
Little children.
Dude, always
little
hustling.
Angels, little angels.
Yeah, we were always hustling, always looking for a way to do better, to become better.
Listen,
and we did not stay. We needed, when we were getting the help, but we did not stay there.
This is another thing that I wanted to mention. Also during that, like you just said, we had some hard times at certain points in our relationship. Not once did we ask for help. We fucking made it happen.
That's right.
Like putting other people in a position like, hey, I can't pay my bills this week and this and that.
We've never borrowed money, ever.
You were hustling. You were working Legal Shield. You were doing all kinds of shit. I was working 2 jobs. Like we would do whatever the fuck it took to make it happen. But we were going to grind it out, and it was going to be on us no matter what.
Right.
And like I said a couple podcasts ago, if you look at everything that's in society, I mean, you're into the Bible. There's a lot of people that are very spiritual. If you look at biblical times, back when Jesus was around, right?
I'm spiritual.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, if you look at the Bible back in those times, there was no 401k. There was no Medicare. There was no Democrats and Republicans. This is all shit that people made up.
Yeah.
There was no retirement. There wasn't any pensions. So guess what? No matter what happens in this life, it is not anybody's responsibility to take care of you. It's on you 100%. We're just part of the game like we've been talking about.
Right.
But you got to figure this shit out.
You got to figure out how to play it.
You don't
and how you want to play it.
You don't have to get a pension. You don't have to get a 401k, but you just got to figure out how to play the game.
Right.
And one thing that we've talked about,
according to Charles Schwab.
Yeah.
Charles Schwab.
No, don't go to Charles Schwab. We got this guy. His name's Sue Paul. He's really good. If you guys need his information, let us know. We'll get you in touch with him. No, and one thing that we recently got that might help further our mindset is this game called Cash Flow by Robert Kiyosaki. We picked it up on Amazon, and if you guys would like to pick up the game, you guys can find it on Amazon. It's called Cash Flow, and if you're gonna do that, make sure you guys go through our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you go there, you guys can watch the podcast there. You can listen to it there. You can find all of our social media so you can follow us. And you also see a tab that says support the show. You should do this, babe. My voice is like really.
You sound hot right now. You sound like a manly man.
Okay,
no.
hold on. Let me see if I could do it like this.
Ooh, talk to me, baby. Talk to me, baby.
When you click on the support the show tab, you're going to see our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps out the podcast.
We're going to take a break.
And you'll also,
continue.
if you're on Amazon and you search Opposites Attract Podcast, you'll also find our merch. You can find our t-shirts, phone cases, pop sockets, all that stuff. And that also helps out the show and you guys get to represent. And also, when you click on that support the show tab, you'll see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary agency and signing agency. So if you are in the process of purchasing, selling, or refinancing your home, you can request Trust Inc. to be your signing agency.
Yes. And you can go to Trust Inc. directly by going to trustinkusa.com. We're also affiliates with Libsyn, which is who hosts our podcast. If you guys have a hobby or you have something that you'd like to talk about, if you've thought about starting a podcast, you can give it a try for free using promo code OAP with Libsyn for Opposites Attract Podcast. And that'll give you whatever month you sign up in for free, the rest of that month, and it'll give you the next month for free. And they distribute the podcast to Amazon, iTunes, all the different places where you can listen to podcasts. They'll distribute it. But you can use promo code OAP to get that month and the next month off. We're also affiliates with Pinwheel, which is a cell phone for kids, the best cell phone for kids that you can get. They recently put out a new 5G phone, which we got to check out. Yeah. So Pinwheel still they're making moves. They're doing things. They're making they're making noise too. I mean, they're coming out in the Wall Street Journal. I think they came out in the New York Times.
Really?
They came out in Forbes too. They're not messing around. So
we need to get that.
Definitely check out pinwheel.com. It's a phone for kids. It doesn't have any social media. It doesn't have an internet browser. All the text messages can be screened by the parents. The call logs, all the contacts are screened by the parents. They have to be approved by the parents. I even had to add 911 in case of an emergency. You have to approve absolutely everybody on the phone. No spam calls, no spam text messages because they have to be approved. And all the apps that are available are great for kids. It pretty much makes the phone a tool to make kids more productive and help them. And I don't think when we all know technology is a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
And just like everything else, you can't just run from everything.
Right.
Just because we know that technology isn't good for kids, it doesn't mean that you just completely just cut it all out.
Right.
You have to figure out because they're going to be using it. They need it.
Right.
So we have to figure out a way to do that. And the best way to do that, I think, is Pinwheel. You guys can get 10% off by using promo code OAP10, all in caps, OAPTEN.
I wanted to share this. So Adriana, that girl.
We got to get back to the game after this.
There was just with her. I'll just go right to it. One day she came to me and I heard her phone going off and I'm like, what is that? She's like, that's my alarm for me to brush my teeth. And then I hear another alarm going off and I'm like, what is that? For me to get my clothes ready for school. Yeah. There's an alarm. There is, I don't know what the app is, but it's to help them.
She put herself on a schedule.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's super useful. Yeah. OAPTEN, all in caps, you'll get 10% off.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Awesome. So the cash flow game. So we recently got this cash flow game that's made by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That is a book that if you guys haven't read, if you guys are interested, if you're whether you've been in business if you've been in business, I'm guessing you've heard of the book or you've read the book because most people that are entrepreneurs know the book. Right. But if it's something that you're interested in, if you're curious about changing your mindset, it's one of the most simple books, easy to read, easy to understand. And it's pretty much like one of the beginner books that really starts shifting your mindset from being an employee towards being an entrepreneur.
Right.
And this game is kind of like that. So the purpose of this game, we haven't played it yet. So we're going to start playing it and we'll talk about it more and we'll tell you guys what we're learning from the game. But the purpose of this game is that you're in the rat race, which is what we're all in. We have debt, we have jobs, we make
trade
some money.
Time for money.
Exactly.
Yep.
So on this board, you're in the rat race in the beginning and you have to do certain things to kind of get yourself in a position to be able to get out of the rat race.
Right.
Once you get out of the rat race, then I think you're on what's called the fast track. And when you're on the fast track, then you can start making some moves. But you could make the right moves. You can make the wrong moves.
I'm excited to play that game.
It sounds super, super awesome, super cool. And our friends have told
forever.
us.
They're going to watch this and they're going to be like, wait a minute, hold up. You've been in business for how long? And you just now bought the game? You're just now we're going to get some shit for this. You know that, right?
Yep. But
hey, you got to start sometime. And that's the thing, people. Here I go. I'm going to go off right now.
Well, wait.
Go
ahead.
Okay. I was just saying, like, you got to start somewhere. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. It's like, you got to forgive yourself. I fucked up. There's some decisions that I made. Ooh, I just said the F word. You know, like, forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made and then fix it.
Yeah.
Know what you've tried in the past has not worked. So take charge of your life. Like, take charge.
Yeah.
And go after what it is that you want. And if you don't even know where to start and you know someone that is doing well, pick up the phone and ask questions. Yeah. Ask, to get some time with them. But that too, you have to be open to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You gotta let people know what's going on, what you've been up to, and they'll be like, "Oh, you've been fucking up."
And that's what's kind of hard because we talk about our mistakes. We talk about things that we messed up. I mean, with Randy, we had some great conversation yesterday, and it's like we were very young when we got there. We were young. We didn't know how to be a parent. We just got it. We just had our little girl. Like, we didn't know how to discipline. We didn't know the right way.
It was like going to the Packers game. We're like, fuck it, let's go.
Like, that's how it was. And my poor Randy, like, you guys heard some stories and how things were, but he has this very rare disability called prune belly. But you look at him and you would never know. Like, you would never know. But it was difficult for him to start eating solid foods. And when we got him, you were what? How old were you, baby? 12 or 13?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and he had just, lost his mom not that long ago, my sister, and so you're transitioning, you're taking these kids, who didn't have, 100% stability and putting them in a strict home. Do you think we were strict
at that?
Or did we just, Yeah. We just didn't know. Like, that's how we were raised.
And that's the thing is that, if it was now, it'd be different.
Right.
But, we did the best we did the best we could and with what we had and what we knew.
Right.
And it's kind of like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Like, how do you eat an elephant?
Right.
One bite at a time. And when stuff like that happened, it was like, all right. We did we took a bunch of those classes and that was like week after week after week. And it was just like,
the foster class. Yeah.
And we learned a lot during those classes.
But classes aren't, listen, you can read a book, you go to college, you read a book, but until you step into that career, until you start doing the work,
it's different.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
And that's why the experience.
And that's where you apply what you've learned. And some people, like, it's happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to you, where we read books and we don't apply. And we know that the shit's good. Right. Like, ooh, that's a good one. I'm not doing that shit, though. You know what I mean? I think everybody does that. Or it's not that I'm not doing that, but we just don't. Like, the discipline or whatever. Like, it's hard.
It's hard.
You know what?
Eating.
So
staying healthy.
There was a guy from the company that we met in, Brian Carruthers. And I remember one time in one of his trainings, he said that there's a lot of people that become successful, or like in network marketing, if you guys are familiar with it, they really push personal development a lot.
Yes.
And a lot of times, even you can, and I know you've heard this, and you can tell it's almost like a show off move for people sometimes. It's like, oh, I got all these books. And when somebody tells you, oh, have you heard of that book? Yeah, I got that book. You got this book? Oh, you don't have that book? Yeah, I got that book. I read that one too. And I remember him saying, I would rather you have 3 books that you know really well and you apply what it says in those books, than 1,000 books that you don't do shit with that information. You know what I mean? Because what good are they? It doesn't do you any good to read all these books and then not do shit.
Yep. And that's why, with this whole parenting, the audio book that you guys have been hearing us talk about, what is it? Untangled?
Untangled, yeah.
That book is absolutely a Bible for raising teenagers.
Teenage girls,
Not only that, but you know what? As a parent, it shows you where you have went wrong
Yeah.
And some parents are going to read that book, get huffy puffy, may not even finish it because it starts to hurt. Because that book is speaking truth, right?
Yeah.
Like when you listen to it, you're like, ooh, I did that. Shit. I'm sorry. Forgive yourself. Move on. Get it right.
Yeah. And that I was about to say that too, you know, like just like I was saying, we do these, we read these books and then we don't do the stuff. And like you were saying earlier, you got to cut yourself a break.
Yes.
I mean, start now.
Right.
That's it. That's it. Don't worry about it. Just start now.
Yep.
There's these things that we know that we need to do and we can just start.
Right.
You just got to make a decision.
Yep. You know?
know?
And this is the thing, you know, when it's my time, when it's time for me to fly, you know, when my time is up here on earth.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to I don't want to die with any regret. You know? No,
Yeah.
No. For
Put
real.
that on a fucking t-shirt. I don't want to die
every
with any
day. No, seriously, like every day it's like, what am I supposed to do? Right? Like if someone I know is hurting, or if there's something that I feel that I did that maybe I need some forgiveness for, or I need to forgive somebody, or whatever it is, it's like I want my slate to be clean so that when I die, I am at peace and I'm good.
You know what? There was something that I heard. I think there's a fight that's coming up with Canelo and that other dude, Caleb Plant. Big boxing fight that's going to happen in a couple weeks or next week. And the guy that Canelo's fighting, Caleb Plant, he lost his daughter. And I was watching like this the Showtime special or whatever that they do, the episodes leading up to the fight. And he said something about understanding how valuable time is because his daughter doesn't have any more time.
Man.
And then I also listened to
That's a deep conversation.
I listened to Jocko.
There.
When Jocko and they talk about their friends that they've lost in combat, and people that have lost somebody like that in combat, a lot of times their fucking lives are incredible because they understand what their friend sacrificed or what the loss, like their friends aren't here anymore. So now in their memory, out of respect for the sacrifice that they made, I need to do the best I can with what I have.
That's right.
You know, and it seems like people that have those traumatic experiences, sometimes people with that have had cancer.
Yes.
You hear that too. It's like it's just a shift in the way you look at time and the value of it.
Right.
You know?
So today I wanted to interview my nephew, Randy, and he's a little camera shy.
Yeah.
But he has
Sonja loves putting people on the spot.
He has so much to share. Like he has so much joy and heart and and I didn't realize like exactly how much. Like I guess I never took the time to sit and really realize like what you gone through, like all the different surgeries and just like the pain, like just all of it. And I realized how strong of an individual, like how strong you are to be able to do what you did and still be full of joy, because you are full of joy and you are full of love. And I wanted to get him on this podcast, and I'm hoping one day that he will find his inner Spider-Man. He likes Spider-Man. And get on this podcast to share his story, because I believe that his story will help others, to fight, to dig deep and just to keep pushing forward, And there's, I think a lot of that you can share with people. But anyways, I had shared that because I see when you have a struggle, the people that succeed are the ones that push through.
Yeah.
The people that fight, the people that, just continue to move forward.
And I don't want to answer for Randy, but I would imagine like when you have these things coming, it's also kind of like what we said is, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. Like all you can do is kind of line things up and take it as it comes, and one after another, the next thing, and what's the next thing. And, before you know it, you've been through it.
Right.
And then you're looking back at it. I don't know. I mean,
yeah. And another, like I had with them, I'm like, because life comes at us all, right? Like life, we all go through, some of us have lost our jobs. Some of us have lost our homes with this pandemic. Some of us we've lost some loved ones, right? Yeah. Like we have lost so much. But it's like, where do you find that desire to continue to push through? Like where does that come from?
Yeah.
And that's a question that I wanted to ask him. And it's like, when you're going through those tough times, what is your exit? Where do you go to find your peace? Where do you go to find your joy? And he told me that it was in his poetry.
Yeah.
Poetry. And I believe you had said music. But it's like finding what is that for you?
Yeah.
What is that for you? What is that thing or whatever it may be that's going to help you to get through? Because there's some people that turn towards drugs. Sometimes it's alcohol. Sometimes it's porn. Sometimes it's sex. Sometimes there's so many outlets. For me, sometimes it's food. For me, it was TV.
Yeah.
When I get into those stages, it's like I turn on the TV and I allow myself to just numb out.
Yeah.
Have you figured that out for you? What is that? Do you have that escape, that
TV,
check out?
YouTube probably does that for me too. Because I'll fucking sit there and I watch fight videos. Like I could do that shit all day.
But is it because you're feeling a certain way? Like you're stressed, you're depressed, you're feeling anxious? I mean,
no, I don't really get that. Like the depressed but it's one of those, it's kind of like when we were talking with Isaiah, like when you're done, like, you messed up, it's like, fuck, that was not the best use of my time. I've been bullshitting when I know I shouldn't have been.
Yeah. And I think the whole time concept comes in when you get older.
Maybe
the older you get, for me, 40 was like the magic number, but God's telling me 50. I think I'm going to find my purpose at the age of 50. But 40 was the whole, like, I don't know, so many things have happened. There were so many things that happened to wake me up, to slow down, to be present, to really look at life and to look and be grateful for what it is that I have and the people in my life. And in order to slow down, to be present, to pay attention.
Yeah.
And to figure out what my priorities are.
Yeah.
Sure. And I think that once you hit a certain age, life starts to almost like it slows down to speed up.
Well, I think you start realizing what point in your life you're at. Like before, like you're 10, it's like, all right, well, I could probably do this 10 more times maybe. But once you start getting older, it's like, shit, I'm halfway through my life. It seems, I don't feel like it.
But I wasn't looking at it that way though. For me, it wasn't like, oh shit, I'm almost, I have another 40 years before I die if I'm going to die at 80. It wasn't that. It was just, dead. I know. And maybe it was just, my spirituality coming into play, and God, hearing God louder, speaking to me, with the things that, that he has in store for me. And in order for me to have these breakthroughs, I had to slow down.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's recognizing what life is really about and playing that game and realizing that you have a choice to win.
Dude, some people, yeah, they've realized, they figured it out. It's just a game and they can do things the way they want to do them.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do. And that's what we're going to try and show you guys how to do.
Yeah.
We're going to bring you guys along for the ride.
That's right. Yes, yes, yes.
So with that, we've had one of the most incredible past couple of days that we've had.
I love you, babe.
I love you too, babe.
I love you.
Shout out to all of our friends. Shout out to the Packers Fan Podcast.
Yes,
we ran into our friends Wayne and Troy, the hosts of the Packers Fan Podcast. If you guys are Packer fans, you guys should listen to the Packers Fan Podcast. They have an awesome podcast. They know,
they're such great guys.
Break it down.
Yeah.
and it's a fun show to listen to. And all the fans are awesome. Like everybody calls in, and it's like a great community that we have there with the Packers Fan Podcast. So check them out. Wayne and Scott Clark, they're the hosts of the podcast. Make sure you guys check it out.
Yes, yes.
And shout out to the Packers, number 1 in the NFL.
Go Pack, go. Go Pack, go. Anyways, so
There we go.
There we go.
Dude,
green and yellow, green and yellow. You gonna find that song,
I was
baby?
screaming that shit from the top of my lungs in that stadium. Make sure you guys check out the story on Facebook and Instagram.
By the way, I called that last play.
You did. You did.
Called that last play.
Dude, they were on the goal line, and she's like, what's everybody so worried about?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
Why
fucking
are you guys
interception.
looking so gloomy? Don't you know who we are? No.
Fucking crazy, man. So awesome.
I'm a little bit psychic. No.
So awesome. So, yeah, thank you
love
guys.
you guys. Yeah.
Thank you guys for being with us. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Follow us on our social media. Send us a message. You guys can give us a call at 480-912-5128. If you guys want to send us a question or send us a comment.
Or say you suck. No.
Yeah. We'll probably delete those, but no. Yeah. Thank you guys for being with us.
We love you guys. Love your support. Thank you so much for watching Opposites Attract Podcast.
Where we get better
together. Bye.